Hey guys, what's going on? The Langbanger here. I am back after a pretty long hiatus. So I have a retro deck profile for you, and I wanted to go over Tele-Dad. So I've done this certainly a few times in the past. I did actually get this sleeved up for YCS Columbus. That was quite a few months ago already, and I forgot to actually profile this. So I was just going through my stuff, and I was like, hey, let me show this off again. So I will say this deck itself and format, I think it's like 10 years old now. Like, that's insane to actually think that. So in regards to my actual deck list, this is pre-Royal Oppression. Things definitely started to get really insane when people started to use that card in that format. I don't actually remember, card for card what I used to use in that format. So I honestly just looked the list up online. So I may have a card or two missing, so just bear with me. But just overall, this is just for nostalgic purposes. And it was definitely a fun time in the game. I also realized, looking back, like just how insanely powerful this deck was as well. It's definitely, doesn't take kind to new people in the game, and I could see this definitely turning people away from the game just because of how crazy it was. I mean, this was one of the last times we had a tier 0 deck. So let's just go into it. So going into the monsters, you have the 2 Dark Arm Dragon, of course. Don't mind all the mismatching I have in here too. This is something I eventually want to just bling out and then just keep sleeved up forever. You have 3 Malicious, you have 1 Doom Lord, and you have 1 Diamond Dude. Just 3 targets for the 3 D draws. Some people did use another target. That's totally fine because you also have a Lure of Darkness too, so you could add another Diamond Dude. No problem there, but this is just what I went with. Then you have 3 Krebons. This is your only target for emergency teleport, so it may seem kind of weird that you're using just 3 D draw for 3 Destiny heroes, 3 teleport just for 3 Krebons, but you just had ways to discard dead cards in your hand, and there's just some cards like you don't want to see like a ton of either. So there was also a level 3 tuner that you could go into, and then you could go into level 9 synchros, but that wasn't too good. You could also go into level 5 synchros. I just liked 3 Krebons. Then you have 1 Grepher, and then you have 1 Plague Spreader, 1 Sangin, 1 Snipe Hunter, 1 Caius, Big Daddy Stratos, you have Reaper, and then you have Tomato. So that was the monster lineup that I went with. I also played a lot of duels at YCS Columbus with this deck. It was definitely a ton of fun. Like I said, I just noticed again after just re-sleeving this after years and years of not having it, just how crazy this deck is. So that was my monster lineup. Onto the spells, you have 3 Destiny Draw, you have 3 Teleport, you have 3 Allure of Darkness, you have 2 Reinforcement of the Army, you have 1 Mystical Space Typhoon, 1 Brain Control, 1 Monster Reborn, and 1 Heavy Storm. So that was all the spells. As you can see, just a lot of power cards, a lot of drawing, just insanity. I mean, a lot of times you can go into a synchro and then just have a bunch of back rows, or you can go into double synchros, or you can drop dark arms. I mean, there was just a lot of big power plays and power pushes you could do with this deck. Just crazy stuff. And then onto the traps, you have 3 Solemn Judgment, you have 2 Wind Blast, you have 1 Torrential, 1 Crush card, and 1 Trap Death Shoot. So that was everything there. I think at the time, I couldn't fully remember if everyone was using Solemn Judgment or not, but just the fact that was at 3, I mean, why not? Also, Mind Crush was around. I think people kind of played around with that a little bit. Just the fact that we had Crush and Dash Shoot, and then also people just did a lot of searching too. But that was my main deck. Let's go into the extra deck. I think I have this one down perfect. I might be off a card or two. There was also a lot of preference too, but you had 2 Stardust, you had 2 Red Dragon Archfiend, 2 Thought Roller Archfiend, you have 2 Colossal Fighter, you have 2 Goyo Guardian, you have 2 Iron Chain Dragon, you have 1 Android, you have 1 Psychic Life Transfer, and then you have 1 Black Rose Dragon. So I can explain kind of this a little bit. So this may seem very generic and very bland at first, but actually when you didn't have games that were blowouts, like you would have a lot of back and forth. So basically, like think of it as your opponent summoning a certain synchro and then passing, back rows or not, and then you were able to summon a synchro, and then some synchro would be able to get over a synchro or be able to use it in a certain situation. That in itself was just crazy. I mean, oftentimes people would just summon Stardust and then pass. So then, then the next player could go. They can make Goyo, attack Stardust, take it. And so that's kind of what I meant, just back and forth like that. Was definitely just crazy. You could also just take Colossal Fighter and ram that into Goyo if that was a certain play. So like I said, I mean, Red Dragon Archfiend, that's the biggest hard attack that you have in the extra deck. So that was just something simple to go to. So like I said, just a lot of back and forth. Like, this synchro is better than that synchro. You summon this synchro if your opponent has this synchro, and so on and so forth. And then you also just have some filler just in case like you run out, or if you just need a certain, card for a weird situation. Like you wouldn't summon this very often. Like you have Reaper and then you have Krebins. I think that's like really the only way you can go into that. I mean, you also have Monster Reborn, so that, that's why it's good to just have multiple levels in your extra deck. But that was everything, guys. I hope you enjoyed this profile. I would definitely try and rebuild this for current day, but we actually have Teleport at 1, and we have Malicious just went to 2. We have Dark Armed at 1, so kind of in a way, I guess I could make a new version, but also, this deck's missing a lot of power. And then also just with the new Link roll, it's not new anymore, it's been out a year or 2 or whatever. But it would actually be hard to drop multiple guys in a turn. So it would be interesting to try and like rebuild that. I may try and do that sometime, but it's definitely this is definitely a thing of the past for now, and then maybe one day we'll see it again. So hope you enjoyed the profile again, guys, and thanks for watching. Peace.